Once upon a time, there was a young prince of Denmark. Hamlet, avenge me!
Dad?
Yes, I have returned from the dead.
Looks like you've returned from the buffet.
Well, you little... Down!
Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It's me, Jonas, and today I'm going to be talking about why you should read the play Hamlet. But before we get into things, I'm just going to say that I think you should watch or listen to a version of the play, i.e. a performed version. I think consuming a performed version before you read the text is really, really important, because you won't be alienated from the language. You'll be in there. You'll be loving it. You'll be like, you know what, I actually get this. This would normally seem like gibberish to me, but I get it. But yeah, that's just a quick caveat before we, just absolutely dive into the multiple reasons why you should read Hamlet. Now, the first reason I think you should read Hamlet is perhaps not an obvious reason. It's not one that you might have heard before. I think it's essentially a play about mental health. However you look at it, however you want to interpret the various characters and the various things they go through and have gone through before the play started, particularly the main character, Hamlet. I think that ultimately it's a play about relationships, people's feelings, and particularly the central character of Hamlet. Without spoiling anything, he goes through a lot as the play progresses, and so do certain other characters. And the play is, I think, essentially an exercise in how people deal with suffering. And without spoiling too much, there's a very interesting contrast in the play about melancholy and madness. You might know that already. These are themes that Shakespeare often plays with. But yeah, I think that the play is essentially about mental health, or at least it has lots to do with mental health, and therefore I think it's still exceptionally relevant today. And that's why I found particular solace in reading it, and it was very stimulating to read during lockdown at a time when I was having a lot of contrasting feelings and confusion and so forth. It's a very emotional play, and I think it's worthwhile to read for that reason.
In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world. The paragon of animals. And yet, to me, what is this? Quintessence of dust.
Reason number two kind of follows on from this, but not only, I think, does Shakespeare really reveal really interesting attitudes towards mental health, I think that he reveals generally quite insightful things just about human life more holistically. Hamlet's also about family, and it's about love in all kinds of forms. Talking about family, it's about how difficult family life can be sometimes, And, Hamlet has a kind of girlfriend, he has friends, and all these relationships sort of become complicated over the course of the play. And I think it can be really useful to sort of consume art that kind of shows you, maybe not your own life, but kind of aspects of your life, and it sort of can help you to come to terms with things that maybe you're going through. And I always think of one of the opening scenes from the film Two Hands. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's Heath Ledger's first lead role. It's kind of an Aussie-made film. And there's this Aussie guy at the beginning who's like, you know, he's I'm not really doing an Australian accent. In fact, yeah, I'm just going to link the clip in, and I'll let him explain.
If you're going through some sort of shit in your life, chances are someone else has been through the same thing before you. And they've written it down. Some poet or philosopher has been through the same type of crap. And they've written about it. And when you find that poem or that piece of writing and you think, bloody hell, this bastard's just summed it all up. It's kind of comforting. Know what I mean?
Okay, well, the third reason why I think you should read Hamlet is just the sheer beauty of the language. You know, it's a play, but it's also just, it's poetry, you know. Shakespeare's writing is just so poetic. And I don't like that people think it's really convoluted and it's boring, you know, because I really believe that Shakespeare's writing is so powerful, and it's so beautiful, and it's so true that it's so essential reading. It's so essential, I think. And Hamlet is just one of the finest examples of poetic writing, I think, that I've ever read and I've ever seen. And I think a lot of people would agree. You know, Shakespeare just had a way of capturing, you know, these essential human emotions like nobody else, both in his time, but even today. I still think he's absolutely the best writer that I've ever read. And every time I read him, it just becomes more and more clear to me that just is the case. You know, it's like when I listen to the Beatles. Like, I was listening to Rubber Soul earlier, and I was like, oh, damn. They just were the best. They just still were. They just are the best at what they did. They are the best at what they did. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean. And I think this is kind of my fourth reason as well. You know, if you're an aspiring writer or even just an artist in general, I think, you know, you have to learn from the best. And as I say, Shakespeare just was the best, still is the best. And so I think if you want to know how to write, if you want to learn how to express yourself in that way, but also just to stimulate your imagination. If you're not a writer, but you're a painter or you're a poet or anything, you know, if you're an artist of any kind, I think reading Shakespeare will be incredibly valuable to you, because yeah, he was the best. He had a way of creating worlds and pictures and painting things with words, which yeah, I've never seen anyone do it quite like him. So in that sense, I would say read all of his, read as much of him as you can. But obviously, if you just want one thing to read, I think definitely read Hamlet. That takes us to reason number 5. We're almost at the end. We're almost at the end, guys. Stay with me. Stay with me. Reason number 5 is kind of a more, I don't want to say it's fun, because I find it fun, but you might not. But I think you will. Reason number 5 is that you can simply just show off to your friends about how much you know about the play. You know, there are so many little lines you can drop. You know, like, I mean, to be or not to be is kind of a big one. But, yeah, even lines like,
go thy ways to a nunnery, and quickly too. Where's your father?
You know, or...
Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
The lady dothn't.
Or, alas, poor Yorick. You know, these just iconic, great lines. You can just drop them in anywhere, and you'll know what they mean. And that will make you just so freaking awesome to whoever you're talking to. They'll just be like, oh my, oh, yeah, I love you. Like, how did you say that? Like, how do you know that? And you'll be there like, well, I've actually read Hamlet. No. You haven't read it. You haven't read the whole thing. Well, actually, I have. You know, you can do that, and it'll be awesome. So definitely read Hamlet, even for that reason, just to be able to show off, you know. Just arrogantly just throw lines out, just like quote things all the time, you know, and leave people dumbfounded at your brilliance, your intellectual, artistic brilliance. And it's kind of like the sort of links onto my final point, which is to be or not to be.
Oh my God.
You know, you hear that a lot. People say that all the time. It's referenced constantly. But what does it actually mean? You know, what is he talking about? Well, I'm not going to answer that. That's for you to find out when you read Hamlet, which you definitely should. Recently, not too long ago, when me and I and two friends of mine may or may not have been partaking in some substances. My lawyer helped me word that one. You know, they were doing something, and I just said the first line to them, and they were like, yeah, cool, yeah. But then I kept going, and I recited the whole speech to them, and I just watched as they were like, damn! I was like, I know, right. On a more serious note, they were actually quite impressed, you know, the fact that I'd learnt the whole thing. But also they remembered certain lines in the speech which had resonated particularly with them, and they would say to me, oh, that thing that you said, what was that line? Da, da, da. Yeah, I really get what that means, you know. And again, this links back to my earlier points of Shakespeare was the best writer at conveying human emotions and human truths, that if you read him, you'll find so many lines that just hit you. You're just like, oh my God, that is exactly what I'm feeling, or I know exactly what that's like. You know, or this situation this character's going through, I'm going through that situation right now. You know, and the more of Hamlet you read, the more lines there are that just hit you for six and touch you in ways that nothing else could, no other language or literature could. And you'll only be grateful, you know, once you read it, I think. But yeah, that's the video. Those are my sort of 6 rough reasons why I think you should read Hamlet. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for, you know, getting this far. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, obviously give it a like, and if you want to see more content, just subscribe. I'm probably going to be doing a lot more of these sort of why you should read or watch or listen to sort of videos. I'm planning to do some more books, but I might do some albums or some films or some things like that. But they're going to be kind of this style, and yeah, just if you want to sort of be in the loop as to like what they're going to be and when they're going to come out, and to sort of see them when they do, then yeah, definitely hit the subscribe button. And I very much look forward to seeing you on a future video. All the best for now. Bye.